I got it. Want me to do it? Hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Two WIT, a podcast for women in tech doing life. Yeah! Nailed it.
Get it. How have you been doing life lately, Melinda?
I have been doing the lives. Well, I could have multiple lives. Kinda. I lived multiple lives. Currently just experiencing one.
Do we need to go into that just a little bit?
Nah. Yeah. Life is good. I can't figure out how to upload our video, so everyone that's like, oh, maybe they'll be on YouTube, the 4 people that listen, we're not going to be.
Oh,
until I
yeah,
figure it
that's a
out.
great point. By this point, you've loaded episodes out in the world.
Yes.
Season 2 or whatever.
6? I put 6.
Season 6?
Yeah, why not? Because it's about 6 years. That's what I decided.
Yeah, season 6. People are listening to it? Do we know? You don't have to look it
There
up
was
right
a
now,
small spike. I did look. I put on Blue Sky too, on our Twitter.
Given that
Sky
we've done
account.
zero telling anybody, really. I've had multiple times in the wild people tell me that they're listening, so.
Yeah, I just don't even know how to communicate with people anymore.
Yeah.
And we talked about this before. Not everyone's not on Twitter anymore. I guess we could put stuff on LinkedIn. I guess more people are there.
Whoa.
It's just this not unified. And I think I talked about on the last episode about having a conversation with Leah McGowan here about the community, and we did the coffee chat and trying to hold each other accountable of what the issues could be and what they could do, what we could collaborate on. But that was one of the points of, kind of hammering home to her that there's not a lot of clarity or communication, and also where.
Yeah,
where do they put it out?
I feel like it's really in pockets. Like that kind of segues. I was thinking about the community sprints and like community supported projects that people have taken on, which is just so wonderful. So I just got an email about declarative lookup rollup summaries. DLRS, about updating the package because they've got this new beta and it's they've transitioned to using custom metadata types and all this cool stuff. And I just remember learning that existed once upon a time, right? Things like that, and like unofficialsf.com, right? And which even I don't necessarily use all the things from there, but just reading how people are thinking about stuff. But I just feel like there's those like pockets kind of where you can find people, which is tough if you aren't already there.
Yeah, or Slack channels or where. And I was all about Blue Sky at first, and I just kind of fell off. I don't have a good reason for it. It's a nice platform. I don't know. Maybe I'll try and get more engaged. I just downloaded declarative lookup rollup summary.
Oh,
did you
really?
know, I don't know if other people do, but Nick Panter calls it Dolores, which I was like,
yes.
Oh, I was like, no. Also, when did they sell the Salesforce Labs?
They don't
always, because I remember them being
so Andy Fawcett,
URL that you had to.
Andy Fawcett
download.
Started it,
yeah,
and then he became a Salesforce employee, and so at the time that he stopped supporting it, right, it went into the open source commons piece, which I think is I don't know if it's by necessity or why, but I feel like that's much more commonly known by nonprofit people. Like I feel a lot of the projects that they work on are for nonprofit, right? So, and then products have kind of come out of things and then get supported. So if anyone isn't familiar, the concept of adopting these types of products means that the other one that's a big one that I know of is Salesforce Indicators, which is another great tool we can talk about. But like these are volunteer people that are supporting and taking bug tickets and fixing these things and doing sprints to make products. So from the nonprofit side, they actually have like events that are nonprofit sprints that they have use cases, and some of them, are one-time things, but some of them are ongoing projects. And so people are like, oh, I need this thing, and the package doesn't do that. So I'll be right, I might have the requirements, but I don't have the developer, right? So, yeah, so that's the concept. DLRS specifically is really great for basically roll-up summary fields, but through lookup relationships. So, or even, through lookup relationships. So, for example, today, the reason I got back into it is because I need, for a specific subset of accounts, I need the number of meetings over the last 6 months and the last year. So they are associated through that account ID that's like that stupid secret field on activities, because activities are the worst. Weird object. And so, yeah, but the nice thing is they do a really good job of explaining. They've got great documentation about the different implications of what you can do. And I think I see this more now, like I realize it more now being on the older side of the old elder admin side.
I like to be an elder admin.
In terms of like the danger that you can cause, right? So I think DLRS is a great example where it's like, well, of course, as soon as a meeting happens, I want the number to update. So like, yeah, do it in real time, right? Like, but just because they put this nice UX on top of things doesn't mean that you're not, right, executing code, and that has a cost, right? So, yeah. So in this case, I was able to schedule a daily job and narrow down to just these accounts that I want with a where clause, which I've done this again as an elder admin. I still Google SOCL because I'm not great at writing it, even though Louise Lockie has presented and tried to get me to be better.
Thanks, Louise.
So yeah, I used the good old internet. I'll give a shout out to Anthony Heber because he helped me.
Shout out
in the Good Day Sir Slack. There's a shout out too. That's another wonderful podcast. And yeah, just helping me understand like what the implications were of what I was going to do. So
I just did the same thing for interaction summaries because we're doing that instead of activities. And it was the same thing. How many meetings? How many in-person meetings?
Yeah,
when was the last time you had a meeting?
It's one of those, like, I was asked for some reports recently, and it's like, yes, I can get there, right? Like, but give me a day kind of stuff, So now it's, okay, so next time, how do we not, like, in a month, how can we not have to have it be that hard, right?
So you're saying I shouldn't have everything on real time?
It depends on what else you've got going on, right? Like, if you have a lot of records, if you have a lot of code, right? Like if you've got a lot of other things that, like, every event kicks off other things, right?
I should ask about that. I feel like there's a lot, but it needs to be real time because they are going to get in there and you're like, oh, I don't know what the last meeting was.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. That makes sense then, right? If it's the use case makes sense until you start having problems. So actually, Anthony Heber helped me because I had an issue in the past where DLRS was touched in a job that I had that was doing something completely unrelated. And so when you're looking at, so it quote unquote looks like that's what was failing, right? When you start getting into the looking at the logs and all the stuff I don't usually do and needed help with, and he volunteered to help me. It was so lovely. You can see, like, it's just one of those things that maybe doing things you don't realize. Like when you're don't just be like, yeah, sure, real time all the time. Like, especially if you're getting into lots of roll-ups. Right. So, but you're experienced enough to ask the questions, right? If you don't need it in real time, then don't calculate it in real time if you don't have to.
Well, and I want to do it scheduled, but these users are a little
or start doing it that way until it's a problem, and then then it becomes a decision, right? Like you can do this or you can do this. You can't do both.
So you can do with that.
So
with this,
because
this is where it's at.
But yeah, I mean, I've used that I've used it in multiple jobs over the past few years, and so it's been really interesting to see how it's evolved now that there's a team that's supporting it, and like I said, that you can they're submitting, they have release notes, they're
Wizard.
Legit. Yeah, the new Wizard
Oh my
is
God.
beautiful.
Amazing.
And like I say, great documentation. So if you haven't heard of it, I recommend you look it up.
And if you're like, wait, tell me again what the heck it is. So if you have a master detail relationship, you can do a natural roll-up field. Cool. But what if you want a roll-up that's 2 objects away, but you really need it, and then you're going through reports, I got to build a field, and this will just help you do that. And it's free.
And yeah, so through lookup relationships as well. So it doesn't have to be master detail, which, a lot of things you can't detail to account. Right. No, that's wrong. That's a lie.
What do you mean? I mean, you can detail
undo. But either way.
I'm all, yeah, right. Wait, what?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, right. Of course. Yeah. So that's a rabbit hole. Oh, but I just think it's really interesting, right? There's people that are committed and happy. Like, you find people in different corners of the internet, the Salesforce Landia. I don't know.
Landia.
So, yeah. The talk was good, though, that you did with the coffee chat was good.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was well attended, and they did it live only, so there wasn't recorded later. But I liked that because it was more like like being present. I think,
and you felt like it was recognized.
Yeah, I tried to represent all the stuff I had heard and people that had come to me after my LinkedIn post and people I reached out to, making sure that the community was heard. I think there was a couple times it got a little off topic, but I think not off topic, maybe a tangent. Not me, but it wasn't bad. It just, I felt I did a pretty good job of trying to bring it back to the topic at hand.
Nice.
They're going to do more of those to listen to the community. They put out that survey. And like next steps, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Like it's like survey season.
I started the survey. I'll be quite honest. I didn't finish it because I got through like the first part. I was like, and good. And then it was this whole second part with like story problems, extra answers. I was like, I can't do that.
2 trains. No.
Am I too much? Too much.
There was like user group leader survey. Developer.
But I love that like I'm doing this kind of in charge of this new, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm not in charge of anything, but I sparked something and I can't even finish the survey myself.
Well, they already know how you feel because you already talked to her. I like that you just maybe completely unplugged yourself just because you talk with your hands. So now it's just me talking to myself. But really, you look at yourself anyway when you're doing recordings. Oh, you're full on gone now. So, Oh, hi from the left side.
So it just kept recording.
Yeah. So yeah, just got a little bit of me talking to myself until it actually like kicked you out. I just like that you just like flailed and then just unplugged it and deleted it.
I tried to make my microphone taller. Thank you for our sweaty balls. And then it fell down. So we'll see how that recording stitches together.
Yeah, sure.
Remember, we're not doing a ton of editing. I'm going to add in the music just at the beginning. We get none at the end. Do not.
I talk to myself. It's really, fine. People look at themselves. Don't you? Do you find that? Like, I actually, at work, I turn off the self view in meetings. I don't mind having my camera on, and I don't give a crap, right? Clearly about how I look. P.S., by the way, I've been sick for like a week and a half, and I'm really freaking over it. And I just don't want to sound weird. I'm tired of drinking hot beverages when it's hot outside. The involuntary soup diet is not my favorite. And, yeah. So that's annoying.
Being sick is annoying. I do not stare at myself in meetings, but I do take looks to make sure I don't look bananas. But it doesn't matter because nobody's looking at me.
Because everyone's
looking. But I will do that if I'm like for the coffee chat with Leah. I slid. I couldn't figure out on Zoom. It was a Zoom. I couldn't figure out how to turn me off, so I just moved it out of view.
You had a coffee mug too, which is important.
My coffee mug that had the
Right.
Fight the Patriarchy on it.
With your you held it correctly too. Like,
I was like, look at my cup. Fight the
a fundraiser one
patriarchy.
too.
We're not gonna like talk about any of that, right? Like, here's the deal. I don't think anyone has any qualms about where I sit in advocacy, human rights, political, and the garbage going on. But I just want to acknowledge that, yes, we know, and I can't go down that rabbit hole because I don't know what's happening. And every day today, my best friend is probably going to lose her job because funding for CASA, which is, for women and children coming out of abusive homes, but like, that's fine. We just want you to have the babies, not take care of them. But all of that to say, we're not addressing things. It just is so much that it would just be a whole.
I'm not addressing. I mean, kind of, right? I'm not here to have that clout to talk about, I don't know,
It's kind of
political things.
depressing.
I actually was thinking about this when I was like, it's like, is there a podcast where people aren't talking about political things that are happening right now? But then I was thinking, do you think you could be a successful politician having ADHD? Like, I feel like my memory is so crappy, and I don't know if that's a me thing or an ADHD thing.
No, it's an
but
ADHD thing.
There's so much where, like, when you watch the debates, and they're like, you voted for blah, 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 blah. And then come to find out it's because they, like, tack 6 things together, and I wanted this one thing, right? Yeah. But, like, I can't remember.
You'd have advisors for that, though. They would prep you on
so much
stuff you forgot. No, I had a whole conversation with Josh yesterday. He insists that we've seen Little Shop of Horrors together, and I don't think so. I really, really don't think so. But I cannot confidently,
right,
like, say no. He says so. His memory's way better.
I have a picture that popped up in my little photo memories thing in my phone of Angela Mahoney at my house. I literally don't remember her coming to my house. Like, even now, I'm like, I don't remember what we did. Like, what? So, yeah, I would not want to have to commit to what I said last freaking podcast episode, let alone season 1 4 years ago. I'm not going back to listen to that.
I sent my cousin a picture of her and I and our other cousin, 2018. And I said, where are we here? And she's like, I don't know. I hardly recognized my husband in the back. And I was like, I cannot come from a family of all of this. Like, we all can't have ADHD.
Ago too, right? Like, I texted you a picture from me from 7 years ago that popped into my memories too. And it's like, it's just crazy when you like have moments like that where you stop and think, right? 7 years ago, I was married. I was 2 jobs back, right? I was in the office. I dyed my hair still and maybe blow dried it actually sometimes ever. And I don't know, just like, that's so crazy because I don't think, obviously I had moments because I ended up getting divorced, so I wasn't like the most happiest person ever, but I don't recall being like sad.
No, when you're in it, and also when you're in it, you don't know as much. Let me preface it with saying it's like boiling the frog. I don't think, if it was a hard turn, you and Gil were just, I don't know, this hard left of something. Yes, I could tell the moment I was unhappy, but it's a slow burn and you make excuses for yourself and for them. And maybe it's me, I'm not happy. So I'm sure that you were not thinking at that time, I feel wildly unhappy. And looking back, maybe I saw signs, but I don't think that that's how that happens, especially because you didn't have these big dramatic moments. There wasn't like a situation where it was a dramatic split. Also, you didn't have these other extenuating circumstances that would make it harder with like kids and stuff like that. So I was just thinking about that it's just like my day-to-day life is so different, but it's not, but it is. Yeah. I don't know. I know someone, that's a dumb analogy, but in that vein, I went for a walk with a friend today around the little lake by me. And I told her that this gym that I used to go to before COVID reached out. It was like, hey, Melinda, how are you? And I was like, oh, buddy, you're not doing well, are you? Why are you reaching out to me? It's been 5 years.
Right. You're real deep in those cold
Yeah.
opportunities, trying to.
We're over here using Pardot. Who have I not spoken to in 5 years? It used to be a member. And I was like, that was a lifetime ago. But also, we've said this a bazillion times. Everyone else has. Yes, it was 7 years ago. Whoa, that's a long time. Also, COVID jacks with our time reference, I feel. It just is.
But
2018
also,
was like last
you
year, and it's
when
also
you literally
10 years
couldn't
ago.
go anywhere? Like, right? Like that, even that feels weird.
Yeah. I
But
told
it's
Josh
like-
the other day that, of course, never want anyone to die, feel sick, the drama we went through, the fear everyone went through. But that time where everything was quiet and we all
and like
slowed down.
the earth like restored itself. I was thinking about this. The wasn't it there was like dolphins in Italy in the where there's usually gondolas, right?
Something
Venice,
like that. Yeah.
right?
Venice,
So like I wonder if there's like like earth, right? And then like, ooh, when we left it alone for a little while it was better, but then it's like, nope.
Yeah.
No more.
The quieting, the slowing down was
a
glimpse of how things could be, but they're not, because life, jobs, capitalism, whatever you want to call it, it's just what it is. But that was such a unique moment that many generations will never experience. Yes, again, I'm not taking away from the trauma and the death. It was awful. But this weird time of, for instance, I wonder if that's what it was like in the 20s, where there wasn't a lot of technology. You didn't venture very far. Your world was fairly small, be it city or rural.
You had drive-by graduations.
But with God, yes, I did a drive-by birthday. God, I forgot about that. It's just such a weird time. And I hope some of us out there documented it better, because it's a weird and cool thing. Not cool. I have to quit saying that. There was a lot of death. It was a weird, unique thing that, again, generations won't experience. And hopefully not, because pandemics are terrible.
And to think how different it is, because we are fortunate enough to be, right, middle-class, cisgender, white women, right? Like, living in good situations, having jobs that are flexible, right? So, like, set up for success from that perspective. But also just the generationally, how different, like, what if your high school experience was like half in your living room? I don't know. Just crazy. The way that, and how does that impact just all the, I don't know. Because I think some of those kids maybe do want to be in an office now, right? Like they want to make up for missing that camaraderie and experience, which I think it's important to have, because you learn how to deal with people and you have to do that in life. But yeah, I just thought that was right. Like, just so interesting of thinking about all the different levels of ways that people experienced it.
Yeah. Let me just make it weird, because why not?
Sure.
So 2018, I was looking at pictures of 2018, talking with my bestie, and I was like, I feel like I looked less stressed, different, better than
younger.
Like, something, I just looked brighter. I don't know. And I feel like something changed at 2018. And she's like, well, yeah, COVID and yada, yada. But she sent me this study that I only read like the first paragraph or two, because she's like a reader. It's like 75 paragraphs. And I was like, yeah, no. Or pop it into ChatGPT for the highlights. But we age significantly, apparently, at 40 and 60.
Nice.
And I thought, because I turned 40 in 2017. So I'm like, that would be interesting.
Was your gremlin year?
I still look like me. It's something different. Maybe it's because that version of me maybe looks a little like me now without all the maintenance. There's so much maintenance now. There's so many creams and Botoxes and HRT. There's so much stuff now. Anyways, so I thought that was interesting of was it COVID? Whatever? And I think it was just the timing. If that's a thing, I don't know. There's a couple articles out there that doesn't mean it's
box was checked and you were screwed.
Yeah.
Also, I love that we were like, oh, we'll just talk a little bit. We don't even have anything to talk about, but we'll just record something. I don't even want to sometimes.
Yeah, like I could not. It's fine.
So crazy, just about momentum with how our brains work and how, I don't know, just I started reading a book about women with ADHD, and like even just the preface is talking about how, and I've owned it for a long time when I first got diagnosed. So it's old from, let's say 2015 is the refresh of it. But when she originally made it, just thinking about the fact that so many of the diagnostic tools that they had were based on boys.
Oh, always.
And like men. Mm-hmm. And just thinking about, what if it was the 20s and I couldn't remember anything to save my damn life?
That's okay. They'd give you cocaine and a little diddle. They'd give you give you an orgasm and cocaine and you'd be fine. They'd send you to the sea.
Right? I guess witches.
Yeah. That diagnosis is bananas. Yeah.
So, just the idea that like women and men what's the word I want? Like display different symptoms differently and like engage and how that all ties into mental load and all that stuff. But like, that's also the only way I know how my brain works. So sometimes it's like super tiring, but also
it's exhausting in here
to like learn what the normal way is, typical way. But really that's just because the first few people that got to define what typical is were away.
Yeah. Maybe we're typical. You've heard that some people don't have an inner monologue. I've heard about it.
Yes.
My best friend does not. And I was like, wait, hold on. So when you're thinking about something, are you just thinking it? You're not also talking it through? Oh, I should have pulled up the text. And she's like, well, I think it, but I don't
discuss it with myself.
Talking in my head about it. And I kept saying, I am fascinated. So there's just not a running dialogue, what you're going to do, what you're not going to do, thinking about that song.
I have like arguing voices, not voices.
I can do I'm not multiple. Like I can be thinking about.
I say that I have like 5 lanes.
Yeah.
And so like there's some that are constantly doing stuff. Brad and I talk about this a lot because our older dog barks incessantly. And sometimes you can tune it out and it's fine. Sometimes it makes me want to murder people and you can't focus on anything else, right? It starts taking, and so I'm like, no, he's taking over too many lanes in my brain. I can't think about anything else right now. But yeah, my brain, I'm arguing with myself, let alone discussing things with myself.
I never met someone that really, really didn't have it. And to know that it was a person that's so flipping close to me.
Yeah.
And it's really great because when you have that closeness, you can ask what might be considered dumb questions and like, well, no, explain this to me. Can you picture, when you picture an apple, do you picture it or you just know it's there? Don't picture, I just know it. And I was like, but what's the difference of knowing and picturing? But she doesn't know because she doesn't know my experience. So she's like, I can't answer that. I don't know the difference of knowing and seeing. I was thinking
about this too with like the concept of like counting sheep.
Yeah.
Right? Like, are people, if your eyes are closed, right, you've got black, are you like seeing them? Like, is this like a painting you're watching, a movie?
Yeah. It's a cartoon.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I don't get that as much. I just feel like it's like I feel like I'm like trying to force it. Like seeing, when it gets dark, but then you start seeing like shapes.
Yeah, like the, behind the
like
backs of your eyelids. Yeah.
The fuzzy channel.
It is weird. So this is like the not fun part of ADHD is I had a song stuck in my head, as people do, but it was relentless. It was the moment I woke. It was all day. And it was to the point where I'm like, I don't know what to do. Sometimes they say, listen to the song, but it was a song. But I think the problem was it's an old heart song. It was not just a song with lyrics and a chorus and a bridge. It had a story. So it was easy for me to just keep replaying the whole story through the lyrics. And it's so old and so not. And I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? how do I get this out of my head? So that would be going all the time while I'm thinking about other stuff. So like to have multiple, like you said, multiple lanes, to have multiple tracks playing at once can be so utterly exhausting. And this is why a lot of undiagnosed or untreated ADHD are addicts, because not only chasing the dopamine, but to quiet your mind. I spent time with someone recently that doesn't drink anymore. And I was like, oh, like, when did that happen? You know, what did you come to? And they were like, I was diagnosed and I had proper medication and my mind was finally quiet. And I was like, fuck, I can get behind that. I get it. But having multiple tracks, I can deal with it. I'm also medicated. But sometimes it's fucking relentless. And I just want a good song. It was All I Want to Do Is Make Love to You, for everyone that's like, what fucking song? What song? God damn it. How did they die in the obituary? Just say it. Yeah. So there you go.
I don't know that song, but also thinking
Do
about
you want me to sing it?
Thinking about it again probably gets it into your mind again. So it's like a weird. That's okay. Don't go down a rabbit hole. What was I actually gonna say? Yeah, sometimes it's fine. Sometimes it's efficiency, right? It's like multitasking that works, except it doesn't usually. Maybe sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. I do think that it's good that I mean, obviously my algorithm has been trained, right, to show me a lot of this content, but just learning about the fact that other people's brains work differently, right? And just like trying to have grace, like and seeing people just be like, okay, so an ADHD person, when you tell a story, they're going to tell a story about themselves, which makes it seem like they're being selfish.
Make it about me, right?
But it's just how they identify with what you are saying, right? It's like empathy examples.
It's like a love language. Oh, same. I understand what you're saying to the level, I had this, so you know, emotionally, I got you.
Yes. But also, maybe I was so excited to tell you that as you were talking that I missed the end of what you said, because I tried to keep all 5 tracks on the train. That's why I've started doing this. I've started snapping to myself as one of my like ways to keep don't rabbit hole. But then also accepting the opposite, that sometimes I'm going to rabbit hole. I'm not going to be the person that's going to be like, I'm going to do this one thing in my house. I'm going to clean here for all day, right? Like, no, it's not going to happen.
We have to start all the things.
The same 15 minutes, I can wander around and do a lot of little things, but then it feels like nothing gets done. But then everything works out in the end. But then also, right?
So the snapping reminds me of the voiceover coach that I have. He does this thing, and the first time he did it, I was like, wait, what the fuck is happening? It's an outer dialogue. He'll be doing something. He's like, this is the face I make when I'm trying to figure out what I want to do next. And I was like, okay, so this is very much, you are thespian. You are an actor, a voice actor coach. Very much, this is what I'm doing. And I love it, but I am not a theater person. So it took me a bit. I was like, what are we doing here? Oh, I see what you're doing. This is the face I make when I'm trying to decide, should I go this way or this way? I was like fascinated at that, because I do that. But inside, it's like, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to do this or this. But it was interesting because he doesn't have to. He could just be quiet for a second. We're the students. We'll shut up while he thinks about what he wants to do. But the outward explanation or dialogue, I found kind of fascinating.
Maybe it's for you.
Maybe at first I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Shut up.
Whatever, weirdo.
Yeah, whatever, weird theater kid. And then I thought, actually, that's kind of cool. I kind of like it. It was interesting. This is the face I make. So your snapping is kind of like, come back.
Yeah, right. Try and stay where we were, because otherwise it's gone. Or one of the tracks is now going to worry that I missed the thing, and then I have to go backwards to figure out how I got there, which sometimes works.
Sometimes retracing your steps, but in your brain it's the retracing the breadcrumbs. I do that.
But then also doing the new thing anyway.
I am adamant about closing the loop on stuff, conversation-wise. Not so much sometimes with others, but I try to come back. If I had gotten derailed on my own. Something had happened. And it's just a purposeful thing because some people don't do it and it really bugs me in shows. People don't close it. So I make an intentional effort to follow the breadcrumbs back and close the loop.
I may have mentioned recently that I've been with Brad trying to say no wrong answers and then ask the question. Like, I'm not asking you, did you take out the trash? Right? I'm asking, like, we talked about this, that thing. Like, the box is not, the loop is not closed in my head. Like, are you aware of that and you own that and that's fine?
Right.
Cool. Like, you don't have to get up and do it right now. But just like,
did I ask or I forgot?
Yeah. Did I actually say this? Yeah. Was this my inner monologue or my outer monologue?
This is like Severance.
Your
Audi takes the trash out every day. Did you not watch Severance? This will not be funny to you.
Oh, no. I started to, and
that will be for a niche group. Well, I guess not niche. It's a popular show.
I don't know. I did just do a rewatch of Ted Lasso, though, so I'm really in my goldfish era. Do you have things written down that we were supposed to talk about now that we've gone 30 minutes talking about not those things? Well, some of them we did.
One thing I just wrote down, I'm just going to touch on it briefly because we were talking about brains, is I had seen a headline or something, because I did not read the whole article, let's be honest, that you can't dream about faces you've never met, which fucks with me because I often do. I dream about houses I've never been in and people I've never met, which makes me believe that I've either lived other lives or it's a collective unconscious. But this was saying you can't just, oh, wait, no. It was a podcast about wrongful conviction and how your mind looks at a face. Oh, that's the person, like in a lineup. So they talked about how you don't dream about other faces. And I said to myself, wait, what? Because when I was younger, I didn't. There would be faceless people, but I definitely dream about people and places that have never been. So my brain is just CGI. Anyways, there's nothing to come of that saying, I don't think so.
I think that's wrong. I do think it's interesting. I have not an idea right off the top of my head of whether I invent them in my sleep. The ones that stick with me are when I do have my ex-husband, people from high school, people from elementary school, right, that show up in my dreams that I haven't. Yeah, like, how are you still in there?
It's so bizarre when someone from way, way past shows up.
And doing the wrong thing. Like,
or just, why are you there? Do you remember the slate? It was I want to say Barbie, but maybe not so much so. But they were the little slates that you would put into a template, and you could do like head, body, outfit, and you would slide the little slats together and then rub a crayon over the paper. So it was like a rubbing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I can see what you're talking about.
So in my head, that's what happens with people. I can look at someone and think, your mouth looks like this person. Your eyes look like this person. Your nose looks like that. You are your own person, but the way you talk, your lips, the way they move, your cadence remind me of this person. So in my head, there's maybe, and this is why I dream that way, there's a bucket of slates for humans.
I've got a bucket of eyeballs.
There's a bucket of noses and a
bucket of bodies.
That's what my brain does. So I was like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. There's only so many noses out there. We got it from the slate. I don't think I've ever said that out loud.
Well, good. See, it's a safe space here.
It's a safe space.
I believe you had a story about your Apple Watch.
Oh my God. It's maybe a
quip.
An ADHD tax? No, more of a impatient. I was trying to earn this badge the other day, and I closed all my rings, and that's where you're supposed to get the badge, and I still didn't get it, and I'm annoyed. I go to bed, it still didn't refresh. So I look at how long I've had my Apple Watch, and it's like 5 years, and that's kind of a longer time for, technology.
In this day and age.
Yeah. And I thought, fuck you. I ordered a new watch, laying in bed, and I get up the next day, and that badge was for the next day, not yesterday. So I angrily ordered a watch, which aren't cheap, because I thought I didn't get a badge that I shouldn't have because it wasn't for that day anyways. So it's still in the box. I can't
Days of the
decide
week
if I'm
are
going to send
hard.
it back or not. I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to do that.
It is really interesting that like immediately when something's hard, sometimes it's like, how can I not do this? Like, and my brain was so focused on wanting to do it, and then it gets too hard, and then it's like, then it's dead to me. It's like the opposite. Like, you're gonna remember that your watch did you wrong, but you really did you wrong because you don't know what days of the week it is.
It wasn't that big of a deal. Maybe I was just looking for a reason because it does die more so than it used to.
Oh, sure. I'm looking for a reason to get rid of all of my plastic food storage, and get glass food storage.
I did that. It's the best.
It's better.
Start saying BPA to yourself all the time.
Reasons.
This all has BPA. It all has BPA.
But also, like, my lack of ability to do dishes and keep my fridge clean is not directly dependent on the plastic parts. But there's so many lids, and anyway, so yes, I have those tabs open for Pretty Pyrex, but I didn't get it yet. But also, I'm trying to spend less money. Like, I'm trying to be aware of using the things I have, especially with books. I have a lot of books. I literally bought more books today. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I can't keep it.
It was the Friends of the Library book sale.
I can't not buy
They were
books.
$2. Also, I do book folding as like art.
That's so cool.
So then, like, is it a good name of a book that you might want? Anyway, but I have too many books. No, I don't. I have a lot of books.
You can never have too many books.
But I have a lot of craft supplies too, right? I'm trying to like do the ideas that I already had.
Oh, that makes sense. I was looking at my craft stuff the other day too. I was like, I have that. I started. I started a bracelet twice. I started it once for a friend. I didn't like the bead size because I felt like they were inconsistent. So I bought all seed beads, the same size, but now they're too small. So the bracelet isn't thick enough. And I just told myself yesterday, just fucking let it go. Just find if you want to make something for this friend, just find a new pattern. Because this pattern is hard. It's almost like a peyote stitch. So it's intricate. So if I don't like it, I'm just going to be annoyed at making it. Just let it go.
Yeah.
Do something new.
I've been trying to organize my craft room, and so I'm using paper grocery bags, which I hoard for no reason. And I can put all the stuff that I have for this thing in the bag, and I can write in it because it's free. It doesn't matter. And so now I just have like an ocean of paper bags of possibilities.
So I love it, an ocean of paper bag possibilities.
Yeah. So I need to just we don't shit on ourselves. I could make some of those things instead of buying new things.
It's hard.
Maybe. All right. Do you have a super fave? I don't remember.
I have some ridiculous tea, but if you want it, let's end with a super fave that seems lighter than my tea.
Go ahead.
I went to the Agent Force World Tour in Denver, and it was brief. It was 1:30 to 2:30. It was like an hour of a couple vendors or going and sitting with Salesforce team to either do Trailhead to build an agent force, or talk with the team, like getting real.
Just build an agent, I think.
Yes, that makes more sense. And then sit with the team to get advice if it was a specific topic. And then 2:30, like an hour later, was the keynote. And then a half hour after that was happy hour. So it was brief. But at the keynote, it was about Agent Force. I don't think I've ever seen this woman before. And talking about it, maybe third or fourth slide in, talking about Salesforce's integrity, commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and literally from the back of the room, someone screams, yells, "Bullshit! Benioff licks the boot." And when I tell you, I was in the back row. I didn't even turn around because I was like, what the fuck just happened? And I don't know what this person thought would happen. I don't know if they thought it was like those town halls we see on TV and 5 people would be like, yeah, blah, 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 or what. So nobody said anything. The keynote played it off or really didn't hear because she said, I think I heard something about Netflix. I was like, sure. But then after like 2 minutes, I couldn't help myself. So I got to pee. So I get up. I am looking at my phone and I'm trying to clock what's going on. Because I got to get eyes on this guy. This is my hometown. Like, I got to figure it out. So I see the Salesforce people kind of at the end of the row, and they're all facing one way, and down like across the foyer is 4 or 5 hotel personnel standing around someone. And I was like, that's the guy. So I meander over, like, I don't know what's happening. I get close to the guy. They're escorting him out. And I was like, I'm going to follow this guy. I want to get the scoop. I want to know why you thought that.
Not creepy at all.
It's weird. I want to know more. Tell me why you said that. Whose boots? Like, if you told me, if there was another Salesforce employee and you say they licked the boot, I would assume you mean Benioff. But who is he? Is it
just one boot?
Like, maybe it was 2 boots. But so I start to follow him up, but they escorted him out, and I started to go outside, but they escorted him to his car. And I was like, oh, God damn it. Because I was like, if you're just going to take him to the front door, I'm going to go out there and be like, hey, my dude. I did not recognize him, but I wanted to be like, hey, tell me more.
I just can't imagine getting perp walked.
The audacity. I mean, it was, obviously some white guy that felt he could. He, felt brazen and the audacity enough. I was just very
maybe
like,
he's
I want to know more.
That everybody didn't.
Well, and someone else told me, they were in a session after there was a Salesforce employee that said something along the lines of, yeah, I mean, they're not wrong. Something. And I was like, I should have just followed the guy to his car, which is much less scary than a dude following a girl to the car. But I just wanted to know more.
Outside.
I was like, just tell me more. It was daytime too. I was like, what am I going to do in the daytime? So I did not get any more information. And since I didn't recognize the person's face, I couldn't follow up later. But I was like, I want to know more. Tell me more. Tell me why you felt like you could say that. Tell me what you thought would happen. Did you not think you'd be escorted out? I want to know. I have so many questions.
Yeah.
And I will never have the answers now.
It's a tough life. How do I follow that up now?
Something sunshiny and bright and lovely.
Oh, yay. Okay. So my super fave is Midwest Magic Cleaning. That's it. That's all I'm going to leave you with. No, I'm just kidding.
Cool.
I don't know about you in terms of, I'm just going to call it cleaning porn. Right? Or when lawn porn, when you watch people on YouTube do things like while you're sitting and not doing those things. And so what I really like about this is he is, why can't I think of his name to save my life? Mac? He also starts every episode with a different fake name, so that probably doesn't help. But he's an autistic man who enjoys cleaning. And so he volunteers and goes to help people in like hoarding situations and that have had ABCDE thing happen, right? And all he wants is the content, and he wants to get the gold plaque on YouTube, from YouTube, at 10,000 subscribers. But he's just funny, and just listening to him narrate but also talking about this, the episode specifically that I want to link to is his son has ADHD, and he filmed himself finally cleaning out his garage. And I really feel like Mac has a good way. I'm going to be so annoyed if it's not Mac, but he has a good way of explaining kind of what we were talking about with the different routes in your brain, right? Like how the cardboard mountain happens, right? And how things get to this point, even though you're a good person, right? And just, I don't know, just he has really good like tips about talking to people if if you're trying to help someone through a hoarding situation, and some of the right and wrong things to do. And I don't know, it's just this guy in the flyover states that just wants to help people. He likes to clean.
Does he power wash things?
What's that?
Does he power wash?
Oh, that's fun. Do you watch rug cleaning? Oh, it's so.
I especially like refrigerator organization.
Ooh. Don't come to my house.
I have a whole refrigerator. I have rules and concepts and things, and
does it work?
Some things can be on the top shelf. I have to see the light. We can't be too packed. Things need to be faced. It's very, very uncomfortable for anyone else that has to come over. I don't mess around with it when people are here. I don't make a fuss because obviously I don't want them to feel uncomfortable. But my cousin was here, so I don't have to put on ears with her. She's like, can this go here? And I said, no, it cannot go there. Let me do it.
Why would you want to put it there?
That's dumb.
Yeah. So anyway, I was just listening to him talking about ADHD and his son, and just like, I don't know, it's like from a great understanding place, and
I
he's
like
just
that.
a cool dude. So
Is it only YouTube?
Midwest Magic Cleaning. I think so.
Midwest Magic
Yeah, I mean,
Cleaning.
I'm sure he has accounts on the other platforms and stuff. But he also, so the members, you can get a Discord, you can join their Discord. And it's so funny because I like the picture in my head of a person. I don't like lives and like talking to the person. You know, when they like do a live and answer questions
And then sit
like,
there and eat
hi,
and wait for
hi
answers.
hi you. I
like
just,
that.
I don't love that. And like, I don't need to go into the Discord and be your friend necessarily, but I'm so happy that the internet brought you nerdy people that are similar, adjacent nerds to you, and that you get on camera with them and talk to them every day. Like a Brady Bunch Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Like, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
People need their people. I've never been on Discord. I don't fully understand.
I do that with you. That's an interesting, I think I'm more familiar with it because of the gaming side of my life from Brad. So I like already had an account. Actually, the day Permission Getting happened, the SFXT Discord was the best place to get information. So they like so many people joined, and then I stayed after that for a while. And actually, that was my hyper focus for a good few months. I feel like I was in there every day and I was engaging, but it's too much. It's too much.
It's too many things to keep up with.
But it depends. I also started a Discord called Kristi Forceville that has my family and Brad in it. And it's helpful because then I can have channels, one of which is, can I 3D print this? Or like Mount Holly House wants. And I can just post random shit. And no one has to respond to me at any given time. But I can hypothetically maybe find it again later. I have a channel for family recipes I always forget. So my sister went one day and just posted a bunch of stuff in there. And then sometimes we get on and we play Crazy Eights.
Oh, fun.
So they have little games you can play on voice channels. So yeah, anyway.
Maybe I'll go learn about it.
Maybe. If you have a place in your heart. It's kind of like Slack where it's like, it's dependent on like the workspace that you're in, right? Like you join a Discord
server.
Yeah, there you go.
I know that from Olive.
Oh.
She's on Discord. I have to check all the things all the time.
They're all going to be
nobody's
very
talking
different.
to her inappropriately.
Right. So his is Brad's guy friends that he's had since high school that play video games and just chill. But they don't post like all the time, you know, so just different. Sometimes it's too much. Sometimes it's not. Some of them are too much. But also, if you can find your corner, and that's your corner of the Salesforce ecosystem to be in,
yes,
then stay witty.
Boom.